So I've been thinking about doing a no buy again because I kind of did one, or I did a low buy or whatever last year, and it was relatively pretty successful. So I'm thinking of doing it again this year. I haven't decided yet like how long I want to do it for. I am trying to save money for a little trip that I will take. I don't know, in a couple months, like we'll see. So yeah, my no buy rules, I will only go once a month to other climbing gyms. So like there's my main one that I have the membership to, and then there are two others that I could potentially go to. And so I'm thinking like if I keep it to like once a month, so that's like 200 crowns extra in my budget, which is okay. That's acceptable. Yeah. And refills only on toiletries, so new ones only after I finish what I have. I have done really well on that. I like actually using up all of the products that I buy, and I have some deep conditioners that I like that work pretty well. That I just need to, yeah, I'll just use them up. I might buy new shampoo before I buy new conditioner because I have more conditioner around. Yeah, that sort of thing. Let's see. No art supplies. So I have been cleaning things out. I've been taking things to the thrift. I've been selling things on Vinted. And I still have so much when it comes to art supplies. And I have so many ideas for what to do. And I'm like, I need to use what I have first before I go out and buy more stuff. So previously I had the rule, I was like, no art supplies unless I'm buying for a specific project that I'm doing in that moment. And that was good. That worked well. But I guess I also haven't been working on my art projects so much lately, so it's been less of a thing that I'm thinking about. But yeah, I have so much stuff. I need to figure out how to use what I have first before I go out and get more stuff. No stationery. I am really good at this, and I have been really good at this, and it has been so much fun to actually use up all the notebooks that I have because I actually have so many notebooks and pens and pencils, and I have been going through and filling up my notebooks and using all the notebooks and, then finding new ones in my stuff. And yeah, it's great. The only thing is that I bought a box of ink cartridges for my fountain pen because I go through those like super fast. I need to figure out how to like refill one actually because it doesn't last me that long. Anyway, I bought a box of ink cartridges and I cannot find it. It's been on my list of things to do. I remember bringing it home and having it on my desk, and then it just disappeared. So it's on my list of things to do to properly sit down and look for the ink cartridge. And if I don't find it, then I can go buy more. But yeah, I need to work on that. Let's see. Cooking at home, I'm trying to have lots of fun plans. Actually, with a friend of mine who's also trying to save money and that sort of thing, and make cooking like something fun that we can do together. So that, I don't normally eat out anyway, so that is fine. For me, I just think like, because it's 200 or 300 crowns to eat food out, especially at dinner. You can get lunch for like 150 or something. I just don't do it because I just think to myself, like 150 or 200 crowns, that could buy me a vintage toy to add to my collection that I could have forever. And why would I just spend that on like lunch so that I just eat it and it's gone? Anyway, cooking at home it's still expensive because groceries are so expensive here, but it is cheaper than eating out. Eating out is not really an issue for me. However, I do often end up, because I'm going to class and then I have all my sports and activities and stuff. So it's fairly often that I don't plan ahead and I end up, in town. I don't have enough time to go back home. And so I have to eat something, while I'm out and about. And then I eat, I don't know, random stuff from the grocery store or fast food or whatever. So I want to stop doing that. I need to plan ahead. So I'm not, stuck out in the city and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm starving and I have just worked out for like 3 hours, or I will work out for like 3 hours, so I need to eat something right now. Yeah. So we need to work on that. And then the last two things, I had to stop and sneeze. Yeah. Anyway, so the last two things are toy purchases and fika. So I'm saying no new toy purchases. Previously, I've said that like thrifting is still okay. But to be honest, I have been going, I have found nothing at the thrift for weeks, which I guess is fair enough because I found so much absolutely amazing stuff the first 2 months of this year. And now there's just absolutely nothing, which is fine because like I've said, I'm making all this progress with like clearing out my collection and selling things. And I don't want to ruin that by bringing a bunch more stuff in. So I think I'm just putting a pause on that for the moment. This doesn't mean that I will not buy any new toys this year at all. I'm only doing this no buy thing theoretically, like to save money for a trip. But yeah, I want to clear out my collection and catalog things, and then see where I am. Like, of course, there are still things that I'm looking for, but a lot of the things that I'm looking for nowadays are really unusual. So, I could be looking for them for years to come. So we'll see. Right now, especially for this next month, no toy purchases whatsoever. And then I'll reevaluate. So there's that. And then the last thing, which is actually my biggest problem, where I 100% spend the most money, is on fika. Like, I don't eat out. Like, I don't eat food out. I certainly don't eat dinner out. I don't drink alcohol. However, I don't even eat lunch out. However, having a coffee and a little piece of cake is something that happens a lot. And I don't want to be one of those people who complains about third spaces or whatever, but they have closed the big city library, which was like the nicest place to sit and study. There are other libraries, but they are so tiny and there's nowhere to sit. And now that the city library is closed, every other tiny little library is just like packed with people. You will never get a place to sit. So if I want to sit and study somewhere else, then I have to pay for coffee at least, which is like, even just regular brewed coffee is like 45 crowns. Oh my God. So I'm doing that more than I should. And the other problem is if I have this little regular brewed coffee for 45 crowns, then maybe I want a little piece of cake as well. And then all of a sudden it's like 115 crowns. And, I can't be doing that. I can't be doing that multiple times a week. So I'm trying to figure out what's my rule for how often I'm allowed to go to fika. And I think it should probably change depending on whether I have just coffee or if I have coffee and cake. Like, maybe I should try and cut the coffee and cake habit and go to just having coffee, because that's cheaper, but would still allow me to go study somewhere else for a couple hours multiple times a week. I haven't really decided yet. I'm thinking, we'll start with, I can have coffee 3 times a week, but I can only have cake with it once a week. But that's still so much money for me. I don't know. I'll figure it out as it goes. The other thing is that recently, like these past few months, I haven't been at campus very much. I've been mostly studying distance. So the next half of the semester, I will be on campus a lot more, which means firstly that I will need to plan ahead and bring my lunch, and secondly that I will have less temptation to go and hang out in a cafe because I will be on campus instead of being like, oh, I'm just hanging out at home, I want somewhere else to study. So yeah, that's something that maybe I need to think about a little bit more and have like a hard and fast rule for. But yeah, those are my no buy rules. So after all that talk about what I'm not going to buy, let's look at my wish list again. So there are a couple of Kenner Little's Pet Shop items that I kind of think I will probably never find. I've never seen some of these for sale. This one I have seen for sale and I've missed it. This one I've never seen it for sale. So I'm still looking for this Sky Dancers doll. I have the launcher, but I don't have the doll. And like I said before, I saw that it sold on eBay for like $10. I'm crying inside. Anyway, this Star Fairies playset, nobody knows what it is, so that's probably going to be kind of hard to find. I found this Littlest Pet Shop at the thrift, and I would really like to replace some of the missing pieces and also get the little Dalmatian and maybe the little hamster that went with it, because I remember playing with those so much as a kid. This vintage Littlest Pet Shop playset, this is something that shows up fairly often, so hopefully I will eventually just be able to find at least the tiny little puppies and the mama dog. I think they're super cute. This is more unusual, but I think it has come up for sale. I found one of these playsets at the thrift, and I love it so much, and I love the Astro theme, so I'd really like to have this second doll and her weird little alien cat pet. Somehow, after all my years of looking, I have still never gotten a hold of a snail pixie tail. I have pretty much every other mold, like every other animal that they made as pixie tails, but never a snail. So that is definitely something that I will find eventually. I just have to be patient. I really love the mini pound puppies, and I especially love that I can occasionally find them for really cheap on Vinted. So I will keep looking for those guys, and maybe we'll buy if a super good deal comes up like I've done in the past, and just keep building my collection of that super slowly. And then I actually really want some catalogs from my era that I remember looking through the catalog. So that would be like from 2001 to 2005. And for some reason, I feel like the 90s catalogs are the ones that are, what would you say, cataloged, archived online for the most part. And the later ones are much harder to find. Anyway, I would really like to have a paper version of these to read through, just like old times, you know? So that's my wish list. The only thing that I may be purchasing, obviously, if I ever find some of these, like if they ever show up for sale, I will be purchasing. Otherwise, maybe just the pound puppies. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these things are really unusual stuff that I have to just wait and see. Another thing that I have continued to think about is the whole digital detox stuff. And I probably talked about this in my February review, maybe. Maybe it's kind of a March review thing. I don't know. But I did do a week with no Instagram, no Reddit, no Tumblr, no Pinterest, no YouTube. Those are the 5 that I still use. I would say that Instagram, I just don't have the self-control to have it on my phone, because I will inevitably end up scrolling and it's like, I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying myself. And the other thing that's so annoying that I've talked about before is like, I would love it if I could just scroll through the posts of people that I follow, but that does not seem to be a possibility, because I always somehow end up on the For You page. It always tries to force you back to the algorithmically generated content, which I hate. I just want to see the posts from the people who I've chosen to follow in a chronological order. Apparently, that's not really a possibility, and I'm kind of thinking of just like, I give up. I'll just leave Instagram there, because I can't keep myself from scrolling through stuff that I don't care about and I don't enjoy. And so that's a total waste of time. So that's Instagram. Pinterest, I was never really a heavy overuser of Pinterest. So I'm not really bothered about that one. I will still keep it for my wish list, but after being off of it for a couple weeks, I don't miss it and I don't think about going back to it. So, I'm not going to delete any of these things. I'm just going to leave them there. It's fine. So yeah, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr. If you'd asked me 10 years ago if I could ever see myself leaving Tumblr, it would have been inconceivable. But at this point, I'm like, so many of the people or so many of the blogs that I love to follow are gone. And I mean, it's still there. It's still there, but I don't know. People are very annoying, and I don't like the combination of like fun entertainment stuff and gruesome news stuff all mixed together. I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it. And I also don't want to see posts from people I don't follow mixed into my feed. Like, why are you doing that? I'll just leave then. So I have not been on Tumblr and I have not missed it. So that's another one. I'm like, I'll just leave it because I don't even think about it. So Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, and then the last two are Reddit and YouTube. So actually, Reddit was way harder to give up than I thought it would be. I have never thought of myself as a Redditor, quote unquote, and I didn't think I used it that much, but it feels like any Google search you do is going to end up on Reddit. And the other thing is I find myself, I'm sort of addicted to like looking for other people's opinions. I get so annoyed when people are like, oh, you're judging me. Oh, you can't say that because, that you can't say that whatever, like YA books are for teenagers because I like to read YA books and you judge me, blah, blah. It's like, you can still do whatever you want. That doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is when I go on Reddit, I haven't consumed any political content or news or anything on Reddit for years at this point. But even just going on Reddit and like going on the Jane Austen subreddit or going on the Suggest Me a Book subreddit, and people have such stupid opinions that it just enrages me. And then it's like, what's the point? What's the point of making myself mad? Like there's no point to this. I have my own opinions about what I read, and I don't have any problem finding new stuff to read by myself. So there's like no point to doing something that is not productive and it's not enjoyable. I'm not getting anything out of this. And I should really just stop. Like, it doesn't matter. I actually read this book, which I'm sure I probably said in a different video. I read this book called Why You Should Quit Reddit, which was so funny to me because the guy who wrote the book is clearly the exact same sort of pretentious asshole that the Redditors he is criticizing are. So that was very funny. But also, I think most of what he said is like, yes, he has a point, and it's obvious that there is no point to, maintaining this record or whatever. Yeah, it's pointless. And I'm fine with pointless things, and I'm fine with time wasting if I'm enjoying myself, but I'm not enjoying myself, so there's no point. If I am enjoying myself, if I'm having a good time, I don't consider it time wasted. So me rewatching Star Trek The Next Generation and having a great time is not time wasted. Me being on the internet having fun is not time wasted. And you know what? I have good memories of time spent back in the day watching YouTube videos and going on Tumblr. And I don't consider that time wasted because I was having a good time, or maybe I was learning about something, or finding a new TV show, or enjoying some kind of community or something. Like, that's obviously possible, and I have done it in the past and I have enjoyed it in the past, but I'm not enjoying it anymore, so I need to just stop. And the funny thing is like, I was having the hardest time quitting Reddit because I kept like going on it and checking a little bit, and then at some point I got logged off of Reddit on my phone because I had deleted all the apps and I was just logging on like through my browser. Somehow I got logged off and then I couldn't immediately remember my password, and then it was over. I had no desire to go back on and check. I couldn't even muster the desire to overcome the effort of like going on my desktop and checking my password or whatever. I was just like, yeah, it's fine. So that's Reddit. The last one is YouTube. So I thought that YouTube would be the hardest one for me to quit because in the past I have been so addicted to YouTube. And it wasn't. It was totally fine. It was less effort than staying off of Reddit. So the thing is that I do enjoy making videos and posting on YouTube, and I absolutely do enjoy watching YouTube videos. It's just that I have spent so much time searching for the right video to watch and adding things to my watch later list. And, it's like, what's the point of that? I've spent more time looking for and deciding what to watch and adding things to my watch later list than I have actually watching videos on YouTube. And it's like, I'm not enjoying that either. I'm not enjoying that either. Firstly. Secondly, I have, ads blocked and everything. And I used to just be like, oh, I'll just skip through sponsorships. It doesn't bother me. But now, after not going on YouTube for like, I don't know, it was only like a week and a half or 2 weeks that I didn't go on YouTube at all. I'm like, as soon as I hear that, and this video is sponsored by, or I've got to talk to you about today's sponsor. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't take it anymore. So, yeah, I am still going to watch, I guess, out of these ones that I've listed, it's like, yeah, I'm still going to use Pinterest for like a visual wish list, but I'm not going to spend any time on it, firstly. Secondly, I'm going to keep going on YouTube because there are people that I follow or who I'm subscribed to that I really love their videos. It's just like, I used to be subscribed to so many people and I would only watch just like a microscopic portion of what was put out. And so much of what is put out, I'm like, but what's the point of this? What am I getting out of this? And why am I tolerating like really mediocre, low-level entertainment and advertisements being forced on me no matter what? And say what you want about, oh, well, people have to make a living, blah, blah, blah. You like we owe it to people to watch their ads. And I'm like, I'll just not watch it then because I don't want to watch ads. I'll just give it up. Yeah. Long story short, there are definitely still some YouTubers who I will watch, but it is going to be a lot less time spent on YouTube in the future. And it was really interesting to me to figure out that it wasn't like a huge effort to spend less time on YouTube. So, yeah, you never know until you try. And in this time, I have been reading lots of books. I love to read. I do it anyway. And I have also started listening to audiobooks again. I had kind of stopped with audiobooks because I felt like it made me read less actual books. But yeah, there are some books that are hard to find, like in paper copies, firstly. Secondly, also a lot of the Star Trek novels from the 90s were read and narrated by actors from the show, and it's so fun. So that's what I've been listening to, like while I'm walking or whatever. But I mean, other than that, I have also been trying really hard to not do background noise all of the time. And it really makes me feel a lot calmer, a lot less anxious and stressed if I'm not trying to constantly think about what I should have on in the background. So yeah, that's my experience with digital detox. and no buy, low buy. So I'm going to continue the digital detox, and I am going to, I'm going to continue the digital detox, and I'm going to try doing another no buy, definitely for the next month or two, and possibly through the first few months of this year. I will continue it because I will go back to getting 100% study money in the fall. So, it's somewhere around there that I'm saving for a trip, and yeah, it'll be good. It's spring. I have lots of good books to read. I have interesting courses coming up in university. I have tons of amazing friends to hang out with and places to go to fika and read amazing books. Did I say that? Yeah, life is good.